Strike out! Hello and welcome to It's 5 o'clock somewhere, your weekly catch-up with Sparring DK. Now, first off the bat, we have a Glenfiddich 12-year, just a little sample bottle here, just to have a little partake in. I think I've had Glenfiddich before, but not for a fucking while, that's for sure. Oh, it's got a nice 12-year drop. Now, Glenfiddich is it's a Speyside single malt, and they have quite a large selection of ages and ranges. Yeah, that definitely smells like a Speyside. I'll just add a little bit of water just to open it up and we'll get into this episode. Gonna smash through it today. We've got quite a few Q&A questions, so thanks for that. Make sure you're leaving your questions down below for the next episode. Alright, let's get straight into the Q&A. And our first question comes from Craig Andrew. He says, if you're a woman for a day, what would you do except playing with your tits and your bush all day? Well, let's think about it. A woman for a day, what do they get away with? Okay, I'd wear the most low-cut, revealing top I could, go speeding down the highway, get pulled over by the cops, and see if I could talk my way out of a ticket. The next question comes from Reese O'Donnell. He says, thanks very much for answering my question. No worries, you leave one. I'll see if I can answer it. And he says, my question is, what's your favorite formation and why? Well, to play on FIFA, my favorite formation is obviously the one we've used through all of the series. It's sort of a 4-2-3-1, but I stagger that CDM and center mid-roll. It tends to give me some good triangles, some good attacking points, and some good build-up play for counter-attacks, yet good enough defensive pressure in my play style. So, yeah, just the 4-2-3-1 formation. The next question comes from Pastrak. He says, have you ever sparred with Diddy Kong? Maybe back on the Super Nintendo, but not as of late. Pastrak has left us another question. He says, favorite film and series of all time. I'm currently really enjoying the Vikings series on TV. I really like medieval sort of stuff, so that really floats my boat. The Vikings series, obviously you've got Game of Thrones and all that, but that's, you know, a little bit more fantasy based. But definitely Vikings, something with some good fights, some good armor, some good women. And obviously they just like to get drunk and get fucked up just like me. So yeah, probably Vikings and any sort of medieval movie. Gladiator, Braveheart, Robin Hood, the one with fucking Russell Crowe. And yeah, that kind of genre base really does well. I also like Scarface. That is a classic. And Green Street Hooligans, great movie. Abe Amasia says, what do you think of FIFA 16 career mode news? Do you think that they will be successful? Well, there's definitely some decent changes in there. Probably not what we were looking for. And from all reports on the guys that have been trialing the beta, however you fucking say it, there's not a lot of love for us. But I mean, I guess we'll find out in September when it's released. The training of your players is definitely an interesting concept. We were hoping for some sort of training mode, and well, it might help our youth style series. We'll have to wait and see come September. Pergamon says, what's your favorite kind of music? And thanks for trying out the Kex chocolate bar. No worries, that thing was fucking delicious. $16.70 Australian, but well, probably not worth it. But yeah, great tasting chocolate bar, that one. Music-wise, I like heavy music. I like my metalcore. I like my hardcore. I like anything that's fucking banging, growly as fuck, and always has a good, you know, it's still got to have that fucking groove. You know, Bring Me the Horizon, Architects, these kind of bands, a little bit mechanical. Monuments, go and check them out. That's probably my mainstream. But then, yeah, I still like, you know, bit of hip hop, and anything really. I do play in a band myself. And that's pretty heavy, so that's probably where I lean towards. Pastrak comes back with another question. He says, have you got a pet koala? No, I don't. Alright, Pastrak, you need to settle down, mate, and but we'll answer this one. He says, How much wood would a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood, given that the humidity is 54% and the temperature and light are optimal? Now, Bama also said he asked this one last week. I must have missed it. I really do apologize. And he wants an answer. Well, how much wood would a woodchuck chop if a woodchuck could chop wood? The humidity is 54%. The temperature and light are optimal. Well, you've got me fucked. Whatever he wants to chop, he can chop. I'd be fucking watching him having a beer, that's for sure. And that is going to end the Q&A. Now, I've got a special video for you. I don't like these to go too long, but what I've done for you today is a special video. We've gone back to the kitchen. Guardy FIFA, check him out on YouTube. He was really looking forward to another cooking show, so I've decided to do one. We're going to show you how to cook spaghetti bolognese. Hi guys, welcome to It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and we've got something very special for you today. Another cooking episode. We've brought you back to the kitchen. Now, I do apologise if the audio sounds a little bit reverby and that sort of shit. We've got a pretty expansive area out here. But today, I'm going to show you how to make spaghetti. What you need is a fucking bowl and a can of tin spaghetti. Now, you just fucking get yourself a knife, open that can up, put it in the fucking bowl, in the bowl, in the microwave, minute and a half, let that heat up, spaghetti. No, I'm just fucking with you, We're gonna do it properly, Alright, so what you're gonna need to make spaghetti is 500 grams of your favourite mince. Beef or pork, a mixture of the two is usually better. We're just going with a bit of low-fat beef mince here. You're also going to need a can of tin tomatoes, crushed, ripened. Crushed is probably better. It's going to help with the consistency of the sauce that you're making. You'll need some salt. You'll need some pepper. You'll also want some crushed garlic, just to add a little bit of pep. Go and grab yourself a jar of sauce. It doesn't matter. Pick some flavours that you like, because you don't want that boring bolognese. You want something with a little bit of flavour, a little bit of sustenance. So we're going with the red wine and Italian herbs there, and a little bit of steak seasoning. Let's get into this. I'll take you over to the hot plate. We'll just get fucking cooking. The first thing you want to do though is fill up a pot with water, probably to the top, and get that heating away, because that's going to take the longest out of this whole ordeal, is getting that water to boil. Now what you want to do is take some salt, even before it started boiling, and give it a good whack. What that's going to do for you is it's going to stop the pasta sticking to the side of the bowl, the pan, the pot, whatever you're fucking using to cook with, and that'll help you out later. So our spaghetti's ready. Hot spaghetti from a can, useless for dinner, great for breakfast with some fucking bacon and eggs and beans and that sort of shit. We'll fucking get into that one later, that's for sure. Alright, while you're waiting for the boil, get yourself a beer. If you're of legal age, beer is a great drink. And while you're cooking in the kitchen, always keep that palate nice and wet. Emu Export. It's an Australian beer. It is from Western Australia, where I am from. Really good on a hot day. We're in the middle of winter, so not the best, but cheers. Alright, now, the water is on the pot. I'm going to take you over here, give you a bit of a close-up on the pan. Let's start putting our meat and sauce together. Alright, here we go. Let's just fucking get this pan heating up. So I've got a nice big fucking saucepan here. You know, it's a decent size. You want a good amount of depth in there. We're going to build the sauce here. Now you could have just tipped the fucking jar straight in there, given it a hit with a bit of mince, and bang, you've got some bolognese. But we like to add a few things to it, give it a little bit of flavour, and that's what's going to make it taste delicious. Now the fridge is making a bit of noise, that's fine. Alright, so we get a little bit of heat there. First thing you need is a little bit of oil, just to stop all that shit sticking to the bottom. Just give it a good tablespoon or so, just to lubricate that pan. We'll just give that a bit of a work around, just so it coats the bottom. Get a nice little bit of heat in there. Then you want to get your mince. You're going to start with your mince, 500 grams. Just break it up in your fingers, like just chuck it in there slowly. You're going to get a bit of a sizzle. a nice sizzle. Make sure you get some supervision if you're not of age to be working in the kitchen. Get mum to give you a hand or whatever. Just get all that fucking mince in there, nice and work. Then you're gonna grab a trusty wooden spoon of some description and just work that around, just breaking it all up so you don't want big fucking clumps of meatballs and shit. I mean, you can do that. The joy of bolognese is that you can experiment. You can fucking add shit to it. You just come up with your own little variety of sauces. Just change it. You can eat spaghetti every day of the week if you fucking want to. You just change it up. Because variety is the spice of life. Now, we're just turning this over. Just keep turning it. You basically just want to cook it down nice until it's completely brown. Until there's no red mince left. So I'm just going to keep browning this slowly, and we'll come back shortly once we're ready to add the next ingredient. Right, so that mince is starting to brown nicely. Now, what you could do now is just add the sauce straight to it, mix it through, leave it for 10-15 minutes, done, you've got spaghetti. But that's not what we do on my fucking cooking show. We like to add flavour to things, so let's get into the ingredients. Now, I like to flavour my mince first, and what I first will add is probably about half a teaspoon of crushed garlic. You can see that there. You might think it's a lot, but you know, I like a good garlicky hit in me bolognese. So we'll add that there. Give that a good stir through for starters. So what we're doing at the moment is we're flavouring the mince, because we want that meat to have a bit of body and a bit of flavour. You don't just want the sauce, you want the meat. You want the fucking meat. Now there's probably Italians out there that are just going, what the fuck are you doing? You don't put meat in a bolognese sauce, it's just tomato, just tomato. Well, this is Australia and we like meat. So, the garlic's gone in, we've turned that over. Now, what else do I add? I grabbed myself some of, it's called steak seasoning. It's probably got a bit of pepper, a bit of paprika, just a little bit of spice, just to give that meat a little bit of flavour. You know, this is great on steak, chicken, anything, but I like to whack a little bit through a bolognese just to give that meat a little bit more body, a little bit more pop. So we just stir that through, that meat's looking nice. Smells delicious as well with all those spices and garlic and stuff in there. You can add onion, you can do whatever you want with a bolognese. Alright, so next what do? We grab our can of crushed tomatoes. Just tomatoes. Oh shit, I've just fucked the lid right up. I'm gonna have to get a can opener, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake, you fucking break the easy ring pull and then you've got to get the bloody can opener out. And this all just takes time. Alright, so put your fucking can of tomatoes in there. That's going to give it a lot more body. I like a nice saucy bolognese, just something to really soak up the pasta. Give that a good stir through. So you've got, so far, your mince, your spice, and your can of tomatoes, and it's looking thick and delicious. And you could probably just eat that on its own with a fucking bit of buttered bread. Alright, so now we want to add our sauce. Now, you know, a jar of sauce, people will go, what the fuck are you doing? Jar of sauce. It's just for body. It just adds more level, more consistency, more liquid just to soak through all that pasta. Now, your jar's not empty. Your jar's not empty. Add about 100 ml of water. Give it a good shake. It's going to cook off anyway. And just, yeah, a nice saucy liquid. Give that a good stir through, and that thickness will start building now. You've got the thickness from the jar of sauce, you've got the tomatoes in there, and now you've got a nice rich bodied bolognese cranking away. Now, if you're over of age and you like some more flavour, which I do, grab yourself some red wine. Just doesn't matter, a bit of cooking wine, leftover bottle from Christmas, whatever. Just give it a little bit of a hit, and that'll just bring it straight out as well. So far, mince, tomatoes, your jar of sauce, some spices, and a little bit of red wine, and that's pretty much it. Alright? Fucking so simple. I don't know why people don't cook more. I mean, this, you can have the boys around, fucking put the football on, I'll probably cook enough here for 4 or 5 blokes, and you can have a nice hit of pasta at half time and really enjoy yourself. You know, you've got to eat while you're drinking. You can't just fucking drink, or you'll be pissed as a fucking fart by 9 o'clock at night and are passed out on the couch by 10, and then some fucker will be drawing all over your face with a texter. Alright, so just give that a good stir in. I'll give you a quick shot here with the iPhone camera, a bit of a close-up. So we've got our sauce here. Yes, a nice red sauce. A nice red sauce. Now we're just going to turn the heat down just a touch. We don't want to burn it. We just want to simmer it away for probably a good 10-15 minutes. And just let some of that, you know, the water and that just sort of steam off it. Thicken it up just a touch. So that's just going to bubble away nicely. Now over here in our pot, the water is boiling. So in the time it's taken us to put that sauce together, the water is boiling. Now you're going to add your pasta. So I've gone for some pennette. It's small stuff. You know, it does the job. Now here's the trick. Pour in your pasta. Depending how much you can go the full hog if you've got all the lads around. Now here's the trick, grab another wooden spoon because it stopped boiling and just stir it. Just keep stirring it, keep stirring it, keep stirring it until it comes back to a boil. When it comes back to a boil, I'll cut back in and give you a quick shot. So the trick is just to keep stirring that pasta. It'll stop it all sticking while it's coming back to a boil. Once it comes back to a boil, it'll generally be alright. Just give it a quick stir, you know, every 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, that's starting to bubble up again nicely. Just using the wrong end of the wooden spoon, who gives a fuck? Alright, so our pasta's boiling. And our sauce is just bubbling away nicely. So you've got about 10-15 minutes. You've got time on your cards while you're waiting for this. Just go and entertain, watch a few commercials. Have yourself another beer. Right, so our pasta's ready. It's what they call al dente. Now what the fuck is al dente? Al dente is that nice balance where the pasta isn't quite... if you haven't cooked it enough, it's still quite rubbery, a little bit crunchy, and if you cook it too long, it just falls to pasta and it's like fucking glue. So al dente somewhere in the middle of that, nice and soft, a little bit chewy. That's the consistency we're going for. About 10 to 12 minutes should do the job. So be careful, you've got a hot pot of shit. Now grab yourself a strainer and just pour it straight in there. Let it sort itself out, all that water can come out. Oh, look at all that steam coming off. Just give it a bit of a shake around and let that sit for a minute or two. Alright, our mince is ready as well. Just give that a quick stir through just to loosen up all those juices and bring that over. Let's have a look at that. So we've got a nice fucking bolognese sauce there as well. Alright, now, there's 2 ways you can dish this up. If you've got a bird around and you're trying to impress, put the pasta in the bowl first and then scoop or ladle some of that sauce over the top. But if it's just the lads, here's a little trick that I like to use. Take the pot that you cooked the pasta in. Give that pasta a shake off and put it back into the pot. Alright, so all your pasta's sitting there nicely in the pot. Now take all of your sauce and pour it over the top. Get it all out, leave nothing behind, because the more you get out of the pan, the less you got to fucking clean out later. So, now we have a pot full of fucking sauce and full of pasta, and just turn that fucker over. Just get a good mix going. Nice pasta, sauce, meat, flavour. Flavour, people. The essence of life and cooking and food is flavour. So that all took us about, what, 10-15 minutes. Now we've got some nice pasta. Grab yourself a spoon. Chuck it in the bowl. Don't be fucking shy. You fucking cook yourself a meal. Get yourself a fork. Pasta a la DK. enjoy, guys. Hopefully you make that one. Send me some fucking pics on the Twitter and that sort of shit. Fucking brilliant. You have a good one. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that one. Hopefully you get in the kitchen and have a crack at that one yourself. That's pretty much the end of the episode today. All I've got left is to finish off this single malt. I do want to say, go and watch the FIFA 16 videos I've been putting up. Make sure you're voting for who you want to be the manager in our next FIFA 16 series. And until next time, I'm Sparring DK. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and you have a good one.